one of those. Alright. Let me throw my co-host in here. Oh, there he is. Cool. I know it just kicked in.
Yeah, that popped in a while ago.
Oh no, no, I saw you. You were just in the hallway, but how are you guys doing? We're live. So yeah, like I said, Thanksgiving type thing, not gonna be around next week. So you have any plans for Thanksgiving there, Ichabod?
Not particularly. I don't do a whole lot.
Yeah, I don't do so much anymore myself. I actually haven't done anything for the past few years now, and it costs a lot of money. And then it's usually just me and my husband, and then there's other reasons. So it's just like, to me, like for the holidays, minus Halloween, these are just pretty much the cold months. So there's not much.
Yeah,
It's like, hey,
way too dang cold months.
did you guys get snow in your area yet? At all?
Yeah, we got hit with snow a couple of times here past few weeks.
I know it snowed. Thank God it's melting over here, but we got hit with snow 1 to 2 days ago, and I got like 3 to 4 inches piled up on top of my car. I'm like, I hate this month. I hate the cold.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, and I took a broom to it, so that was awesome. Though it looked kind of funny.
Broom?
Well, okay, so the scrapers I have are like kind of short, and I only have one now because my husband took one for his truck. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna go out there with the damn broom. I had to clean off steps anyway. But yeah, waiting for a bit more people to pile in through the hallway. But yeah, I just thought it'd be fun to look over Black Friday videos. I have a tradition that I do every single year. Well, before Black Friday hits for the current year, I will go back through and I will watch YouTube videos of the previous Black Friday. And the videos, to tell you the truth, look the same, but I can't believe how freaking crazy people get over stuff that's gonna break in like a year or two. It's like freaking amazing. I don't know. I wasn't much of
You
a...
get to
Go ahead.
you get to save a whole $5 on something. Everybody kill each other over that $5.
Well, it's okay, depending on the product, it's
Oh
not
god.
always $5. Oh, hey, Falcon. We have Blue Jay. Awesome. Hey, guys. So it's not always $5. Like for me, the one time I went to Black Friday, I actually saved $150, well technically 155, to get a new cell phone that I actually needed for a new phone plan. So that wasn't a bad deal because traditionally the phone was $200 at the time for the model that was current. So I'm going, yeah, I'll get it. And like the weirdest thing, because Black Friday isn't too crazy here in Mattoon at this Mattoon Walmart. So the bad thing though is if you try to go grocery shopping during Black Friday, which is really freaking stupid to do, or even go in before the official event starts the day of, this Walmart, they will block off particular aisles. Like I went in the year after and I needed some feminine products. They had it all gated off. I couldn't even walk through the clothes. I couldn't even walk through certain grocery aisles because they had it like marked off, and I try to go under or ask around. They're like, well, no, you can't go in there right now. I'm going, I need some stuff out of here. So it's a little bit weird, but I guess it prevents people from cutting or whatnot. But otherwise than that, it's not too crazy over here. The only one incident I had when I was waiting for like the cell phone to get in line to purchase a cell phone, you had two guys who thought they were slick and started to grab 2 to 3 boxes of the particular model I was waiting for, and he put them in the cart. I'm going, yeah, I don't think so, buddy. So I had to get an associate. I'm like, hey, he's starting to snatch shit, because we were all given armbands, and there was only a particular number of those of those models. So I'm going, yeah, that's not gonna happen. Otherwise, I wouldn't give a shit. But no, I kind of need one of those. So, um, yeah, I've never quite got the craze. I don't know. Have you had any? Have you ever been shopping on Black Friday? Is it bad in your area?
It really depends on where you go. I've gone to like two Black Friday events. One was at the local Walmart up by Lawrence, and nothing really happened there. It's a Walmart. Most of the people went to the mall, but then another year I decided to go to the mall and ended up losing a tooth.
What? Somebody punch you in the
I was
what?
just trying. I, oh yeah, no, somebody cold cocked me square in the face. I was trying to get a USB drive. Now, keep in mind, this is an 8 gigabyte USB drive. It's not anything magical, but it was right next to a 1 terabyte hard drive. And I think that's what they thought I was trying to get. So I reach over to grab this thing, and apparently there's one of these terabyte drives. Yes, so I get cracked right in the jaw, and I'm like, okay, this is happening. So I end up getting the dude down on the ground and start wailing on him, and I find out we didn't even want the same thing. I'm like, dude, why? This did not end well for you. Over plastic and memory. Dude, I didn't even want this one. I just need the 8 gig hard drive. I'm copying some music from some CDs. Chill out.
Uh, I people are like nuts. My parents told me a story. They went when I used to live for them when I was younger in high school, and they went Christmas shopping for us. And I thought they were like freaking nuts for doing it on Black Friday, but they saved a lot of money. So they got one year for me, my little sister, and another sibling. It was a collectible DS, Nintendo DSi. It wasn't the 3DS. 3DS hadn't come out yet. None of that other stuff come out yet. But it's a Nintendo DS, and it was one of the Zelda collector's editions where it just like it was gold and had a Triforce in the left hand corner. So
Yeah, I remember them.
yeah, so there was like three boxes left, and one lady was eyeballing them, and she looked away, and my dad said he swiped all three and took off with them. They didn't like get into physical altercations or anything, but he swiped him and he ran for it. I'm going, what the crap? Oh. But I did go. Like I said, the one year I went, it was just I wanted a phone. And I ended up bumping into my shift supervisor
Mhm.
at the time. And so because of all the videos I had watched of Black Friday, I thought it was going to be bad. Now, this Walmart here in Mattoon was stupid the year I actually participated in because you know how like Walmart they have like those they call them racetracks. The retail term is racetracks, and they have like all the products stuffed in the middle of the
Mhm.
aisle. Okay, so what they did is the stuff that was on sale. There was two spots. There was the normal shelf location, and then there was the racetrack location. So you had people, instead of wanting to wait because you weren't they said you're not allowed to touch the stuff in the racetrack. If we catch you, you're going to get in trouble. Not that it really mattered because people were snatching anyway. But you had people going over saying, okay, screw this, I'm going to go and get stuff from the shelf, which is not off limits. So you had people walking around with product, what looked to be from the racetrack. So then you had people taking from the racetrack the same product that was on the shelf. And so it caused like this mass confusion. And you had the associates trying to referee this, and me and my supervisor were looking around like, well, are we allowed to take from it? And just we realized that there's two locations for a lot of this stuff, and it's like, this is dumb. Just so what happened was because I told them I'm not getting jumped for kids' clothes. I'm not getting jumped for fucking headphones, $6 headphones, gummies. I don't think so. So we started to dig through like some of the stuff, like little sleepers and things like that. They had a couple kids they were shopping for, and I was laughing because there was a set of headphones that she wanted to get one of her sons, and so She kept looking over at the employee that was standing a good yard away or so, and she kept looking back at me. She goes, "Well, I
Hmm.
want to get headphones out, but I don't want to get caught." I'm like, "Dude, quit looking over there. You look suspicious." And I had like really long fingernails at the time. I just kind of stabbed a hole in like they use clear saran wrap or whatnot, like you would for cooking. And so they used it over the stuff, and I just stabbed my finger in and took a thing out. I'm like, can we go now? I'm not getting jumped for this shit. So we trailed on through the store, and it was like finally time. And her husband at the time kept taking off and wanting to guard like a freaking big ass toolbox. It's like, okay, we're two petite women, and you want us to fucking haul this off the thing when a bunch of people are gonna come over here looking for it. He kept taking off on us too. It was very irritating. Luckily for me,
I
I
know.
already paid for my shit before, so let's see. We got 7 people watching. Oh, it's Gundog. Uh-oh. Oh, he linked something. What did you link there, Gundog? Is that an article?
Oh, yeah. Democrat calls for gun confiscation, suggests nuking Americans who fight back. This is from the
What?
Daily Wire. Do you want me to read it out?
Oh, hold on. I'm still trying to get the load. Is this the idiot whose Twitter people kept poking at earlier today on Twitter?
Yeah, that's exactly who it is.
No, I'm not gonna no, I don't want this dumb shit. We'll probably touch it later if we run out of stuff, but this guy's a moron. I freaking...
Fair enough. I
Look,
mean, he's probably not as bad as the guy who believes that Elon Musk is firing space lasers from drones into California forests to set the forest fires.
I haven't even come across that one, but I'll take your word for it. Oh my god.
Oh no, dude's verified on Twitter said that. Oh my
It's
goodness.
usually the blue check marks
It
that are
was
some of the most stupidest people. Not all of them, but a good majority of them are like legit dumps. Like, why? Shut up. I love it today. No, David Hogg had one. I know this is a little bit of a detraction, but David Hogg had one where he goes, "I think that it should require a license to purchase a gun." I'm like, a lot of us are going like, "What the fuck? Have you not read up on state laws? Many of the states, you have to get just Illinois. It's called a FOID card. Um, I forgot what it stands for. Firearms Ordnance Identification. Don't quite remember. But you have to carry one just to carry around a damn taser in your own house. So it's just like, have a seat, squirt.
Mhm.
You're. I'm surprised this kid hasn't gone
And
away.
to be fair, they do have a license for to purchase a firearm. It's called a driver's license. Kansas, your state identification, the stuff you need.
Well, with a actual gun license, because how it works here in Illinois is you have to get the FOID card. And then if you want a concealed carry, not only do you have to provide 10 years of past residences or past addresses, you have to go through, which I do agree with this, you have to go through training, and then you actually have to get the trainer's number. There's an identification number the firearms trainer, well,
Yeah,
it
an ID
supposedly
code.
has. You're supposed to get that verified, and then it takes like 30 days or so for them to process and do a thorough background check. It took me and my husband 1 to 2 months just to get our cards. His longer because the system like screwed up on their end, so I had to call, and it's just like, hey, where's my husband's card? So they sent it out again. But yeah, no, kid's stupid. Like I said, the blue check marks are fucking stupid. Um,
Well, consider about it like this. Here in Kansas, we've got a little bit of more lax laws because we're an open carry state. I guess as long as your firearm's in full view, you don't even need concealed carry license. You just need the concealed carry if you're gonna, carry it concealed. We don't need anything like a FOID card, but Heck, when I went to go buy the rifle I have, I went to a Cabela's and they didn't even do a real thorough background check. I think it was because the guys just really wanted to get rid of it. But this thing, there's no rightly reason to ever own one. But when it comes down to it, I have every right to own it.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't like. I obviously don't have an issue with firearms. I ran across another stupid person today, and another psycho one. You had one person that goes, "Why would you ever need to, buy a firearm? What's people's fascination with guns? I just don't get it." It's like, do you live in a fucking bubble? Have you not read about what armed citizens have been able to prevent and protect? And then I ran across some crazy nut that started to go off on one guy calling him a psycho when he gave him examples of like, well, if you rob my house, you leave your will to live at my front doorstep. If you try to jack my car, I'm gonna shoot you. And it triggered this guy, and he goes, well, you're just a psycho. And he goes, what if I had my kid in the car? What if you had your kid in the car and someone tried to jack your car? So it just, and he's been going off. I don't know if he got suspended because people started to report his Twitter because he just started to say some really vulgar shit. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
people on the anti-gun side are just either fucking crazy or stupid. Or just, no. No, no,
Well,
no, no.
it, it- on occasion, I can see a point. I can't see much of a reason to have a heavy machine gun. But you have to get special licenses to get one of those regardless.
I mean, I have the thing that worries me, and I don't know how much longer me and my husband are going to be in the state, because we've been talking about it for a few years, how we want to get the fuck out of here. But we now have a governor who has said openly in his campaign videos, he's the newly elected governor, he's going to get sworn in, whatever, January, but he has openly said that the NRA, he's going to make them feel unsafe here. Now, supposedly, because I ran across like an article when I was doing some research on him, I forget the name, that he said that thanks to his wife, he understands the importance of self-defense, and it's just, yeah, no, I don't trust him. Illinois has already tried to do some dumb shit by passing, assault rifle bans. I think Deerfield tried to do a gun ban altogether, for the most part, if I remember correctly, and the federal judge tossed it out, going, "Oh, this is unconstitutional. You guys have no right to ban these at all." So yeah, Illinois is very much stupid. I keep. I
Well,
don't know.
yeah.
Go ahead.
It's like California, just on a different side of the spectrum.
California's special. California, I think, and this is kind of a dark
Oh,
joke.
yeah.
California continuously tries to commit suicide by torturing itself. So,
The state does, yeah.
state's like, I've had enough. Go away. Get off me.
I have literally burned myself to the ground 20 times, and these assholes keep moving back. You think they'd learn? Nobody ever learns.
Yeah, well, it's getting to a point, was it, what was it? Paradise, California. Paradise, the town of Paradise has been wiped entirely, nearly entirely off of the map. Because everything just went poof. So,
And I guarantee you, in a year, all them assholes gonna move right back into it. And rebuild everything. And then 2 years after that, it's all gonna burn back down.
yep, and something too, because I know they were making fun of Trump, because Trump said, well, the forest management services aren't doing their jobs, and the governor of California came out and stated, oh, well, rainforest management, or not rainforest, I don't know why I said it, National Forest Management of California is just 1/3 of the problem. And they included climate change in there, they included some other things, and then I saw a couple people tweet out And see on Facebook, it's like, well, they don't go in and they don't cut out all the dry brush. Someone made a meme that's like, someone says like, well, what about all the dry brush? And Mother Nature will take care of it. Mother Nature sets everything on fire. So, according to people over there in
Well,
California,
yeah, that's how Mother Nature takes care of it.
yeah, pretty much. But that's part of the reason why that fire spreads is because it gets so dry over there. I remember. Well, actually, you know what? I don't wanna. I don't care. Pretty much when I used to live in California, is California in particular areas or particular cities has something called a no burn day, to where you are not even allowed to light a fire in your fireplace. And it's on specific days, and you have to follow um, those laws, and it does have to do with the smog and the air condition of the area. So, but yeah, they have no burn days. It gets really dry and it gets really awful over there, heat wise. Let's
Well,
see.
one of the worst problems with California right now is there's so much like wilderness out there that people just they don't want to mess with it. And the problem with that is at that point it comes to this light concept of, well, then, in order to maintain all of that, you know, wooded area, you need thousands of man hours and thousands of people doing thousands of man hours to cut out all that briar bush all that briar bush. There's no way they can justifiably do it on the budget that they have because their budget is crap. Let's be fair. California ain't sending too much money to their
Well,
wildlife
well, you
services.
want to know why? Because they declare themselves a sanctuary state. The freaking tards over there is a sanctuary state. Because the freaking Democrats running that freaking area, it has now gotten so bad to the point to where if you look up the articles, especially of the San Francisco area, they have an app.
Hmm.
It's a poop app now, to where it tells you where is the most human fecal matter and use needles. And this is for San Francisco. And supposedly the guy that was running San
That sounds about
Francisco
right.
is now running the entire damn state. So it's like, yeah, that place is just fucked. The Republicans, I feel bad for them. Um, there's there's talk of like seceding, California seceding, like yeah, Falcon Millennium saying let California leave. They want to split California into three different sections. I believe it's New California, which is like really, really small on the west coast, North California, and then Southern California, if I remember that correctly. They wanted to secede and then they wanted to split into three different areas. And the Republicans like, yeah, let these tards take over the other areas. We just want to be left alone. We're sick and tired of them screwing up crap for us.
Well, heck, if you're
Hey,
gonna sit
Loyal.
there, nah, I got that joke, Falcon. Well, if you're gonna be a sanctuary state, you got all these illegal immigrants coming in. Just make them go do the foresting work. There you go. You can come. You have a job. Be gone with you.
Well, like the immigrants that come here, they don't want a job. They want to get on welfare. And that's actually something too, is it's easier, and this is a fact, this is easier for the illegals to get on I can't talk, to get on welfare than it is for the state residents of California. It, it's easier for the illegals
Well,
to
what
get
you
any
do is
type
you
of state
just make it
assistance.
a requirement for anybody that's gonna get on welfare assistance. They have to do 500 hours of community service for the Wildlife Association.
Yeah, Loyal Logic goes, I love it here. Yeah, we have issues, but it's not as bad as everyone thinks. San Francisco and LA are bad. Yeah, I hear those are the two worst areas right now. I think those are the ones under the most Democratic control, but I think like the small Republican areas are a bit better. I haven't lived in California for a while now. I know I had a bunch of family that scrammed the hell out of there because shit was going down fast, and they're like, nope, fuck this, we're out. So, yeah, it's California is has been trying to commit suicide for a while. I mean, it really has. Let's see. Nope, I think it's gonna be a
We
quiet night
really ought
tonight.
to stop giving them federal aid.
Well, Trump actually threatened to pull federal aid or some type of fund if they didn't get their forest management under control, and people shot back at Trump, and it's like, no, 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 you guys really need to look at where all the money's going. It's going towards the illegals. It's going towards all this dumb shit. It's going towards the freaking all this useless garbage that they don't need. If they clean out the people who don't belong in there and actually, put laws back to where they should go, like they have laws against waiters and waitresses asking if a customer wants a straw. That is now a law. They have a law now that says that coffee shops have to put cancer warnings on a fucking cup of coffee because it's supposedly linked to cancer. This is California. You have another law down there that went from felony charge to misdemeanor, and that is knowingly spreading HIV to another person and not telling them. So this is California, and it's just like, so it just no, and yeah, all the money goes in all the wrong places, or to these stupid laws and things that they don't even need.
There really needs to be an underground bendy straw sales market in California.
Oh no, people were kind of laughing. I saw the memes coming out when this law first passed, and there were talks of it, where you had the guy like the big brown trench coat. Hey kid, you want to buy a straw? I got the colored ones. I got the striped ones.
He wants a bendy straw, boy.
Let's see. Loyal says, problem is California pays the most in taxes, so if they pull federal aid, then we won't pay taxes. Why would we? And that's what I keep hearing too. I'm not sure why they pay the most taxes. I do know that California is also a big agriculture state. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but yeah, I never read as to why they pay the most taxes. Falcon Millennial, from what I've been told,
well,
outside of a few cities, it's nice.
Here's the only counter I could have to Loyal Logic's concept. Well, see, what you do then is you let them secede from the nation, and then you embargo their asses. Nothing in, nothing out. Set a Navy blockade. They'll crack, and they'll crack fast.
Yeah, it just I don't know. With California, I mean, I think it is one of the bigger states out of the U.S. as a whole. I don't know. I can't remember if Texas is technically bigger than California or not, but it's been managed so poorly, and it's like it's Tumblr on parade. It's all this other PC shit on parade, and it's just like, man, that's so fucking bad. Let's see. Loyal says we have the 8th biggest economy if we were own country. Yeah, that, like I said, California, there's a lot of agriculture that comes out of California. If I remember, it's oranges, almonds. There's a few more.
Oh yeah, no, they have a lot of export products, rural farms, that kind of stuff.
Oh,
the
yeah.
major problem with that is most of the areas that produce the food would not be the ones that would secede. They're the ones that are very loyally on the right side, which admittedly in some concepts is depressing, but yeah, embargo, how you slap an embargo on there, and then you put a nice big naval blockade around it to where we starve you out. Well, eventually you're not going to be able to survive anymore. If there's nothing going in and nothing coming out, it's not that hard.
Well, technically that wouldn't work because Loyal does have a point. Embargo how we produce the tech, because a lot of the technology we use, like YouTube, Google, and things like that, do come out of the state of California, as well as a lot of the entertainment, animation-wise, and so to speak. He says we produce a lot of food, like a lot of food. We produce the country's rice supply. So, yeah, no, he does have a point. An embargo wouldn't work, seeing how California is relied on heavily in certain aspects of the country, so that would actually fuck over a lot of people. Let's see, producing a food.
Yeah, it would affect a lot of people. But the problem here is if you're actually more concerned about the country than you are taking care of this problem, then that's definitely going to be a problem. But if you're going to sit there and want to actually get them to follow federal law, there's the choice of, do we move a few rice farmers out elsewhere? Do we just try and educate more people who can do the same kind of technology that Google wants to do all that same kind of stuff? Because it's really not that hard if you got the education for it. You
Well,
can move these people over.
it
Problem only is the politicians and the people who are trying to do it, people who are forcing it on them. You can embargo them. You can definitely put up a naval blockade and make sure there's no export. It's not that hard.
well
The
some
problem with it is yeah, there'll be a lot of people who are going to have trouble with it, but it's still doable.
Let's see. Fuck a Millennial says a large part of your water and most of your roads are funded by the rest of us. Yeah, I do think California is a large water supply, and something too with the food is you have to take into account of what areas would actually work for food growth, which can actually be hard. Setting up new farmland, that's taxes, that's property management, that is a whole monster within itself. Because certain foods, I don't know how picky the rice is, seed wise, when it comes to its
It's
growth,
not.
but like a lot of produce, you have to be.
It's really not. I can go right here.
Yeah, but would it be in the same quality? That's my point. I mean, there's a lot more to growing plants. The soil has to be right. If the plant itself is sensitive to cold snaps, or certain drops in temperature, there's a lot of things you have to consider when it comes to producing fruits and vegetables, especially at a large enough scale. Are they going to last the cold months? How's the soil? Is the moisture in the soil going to freeze everything and kill it? I mean, it's not that simple. I mean, it really isn't. But
Of
yeah,
course, it's not that simple. There's a lot of problems with it, but rice can be pretty darn hardy if you just go to the right areas. All you do is you go over, nice, do a little bit of get a get a nice little plot of land. Gotta enrich the soil a few different ways, but we currently have the technology to enrich the soil necessary to grow rice in Kansas. Keep in mind, I can grow Kansas. I can grow rice here. It's not going to be quite as healthy, but the rest of the entire country is producing other kinds of food.
no,
I
and
can go
go ahead.
maybe a half a mile away from where I live, find good old fashioned corn. Corn's just fine. Eventually, I'd give it a half of a year before California would crack if we completely cut them off. A
Hmm.
half a year, 6 months of some lower quality rice in
It,
exchange for protecting every other American.
I don't know. There's just too much, especially with I know about with California too. Is you have the Amish and then you have the Mennonite communities too, and those guys really thrive off of the business around them. They custom make a lot of shit, and if you cut them off, you're gonna kill those communities like big time, especially with the Amish.
We
Um,
also, yeah, but we got Amish all the way from California to Missouri.
I know, but
We
that.
got Mennonites all the way from California to Missouri.
Oh, I know. We
And
have.
here's the thing
We have.
about the tech industry. If the
What?
tech industry gets completely cut off, they're going to move. They aren't powered by any sort of loyalty. They're powered by greed. And I guarantee you, if we actually sent California off and said, fine, you do what you want, we're going to embargo you and we're going to put up a blockade. You ain't going nowhere. Google
Yeah.
would be on the East Coast in a week. They'd move every little bit of their operation like that. They
Well,
would not care.
see, here's the other thing too, is if you know anything about like internet, and I know some stuff here and there, is there's different servers, and whatever servers Google is using right now has benefited them for quite some time, and to move an entire operation like that on a completely different coast could really fuck up a lot of their operations, not to mention the servers on the East Coast probably don't work as well. I don't know. This is just from my husband and his friends gaming Take for example, League of Legends switched their servers from Colorado
Mhm.
closer to Chicago, Illinois. So to move an entire server base or engine over to a completely different server or set of servers, that and Google's also protected by many different people, many different laws. So, like I said, it's not easy. Was it loyal? Loyal also said some other stuff. Hold on. Um,
Yeah, it
the only
go ahead.
the only issue is illegal immigration, so think about that. Yeah, and not to mention you guys have now an illegal in office, which is unconstitutional. Forgot what her name is. Rice can only be grown here because of the soil. Yeah, there's just from the past employment experiences, I do know that there's more clay soil, acidic, um, grainy soil. Also, we control tech. We talked about that. You can't just think others would pick up the tech from what. You can't just grow stuff wherever. That's a huge misconception. Let's see. Trust me, the California becoming its own country is BS. We won't become our out of state. The movement here is BS. Also, aid won't be cut off ever. Been in politics 15 years in California. And then Falcon said aid would be the first to go. Yeah, you're right, Laurel. The leaving thing is BS. So, as I said, there's a lot that goes in and out of California, and you wouldn't just be able to set up some embargo because you'd have other heads get involved. Because think about it this way, if you had an embargo, Google is also used internationally. You would have international parties and powers get involved. There's no way in fuck you can cut off California. Not like that.
Or Google would move five
Uh,
miles past the border and be completely fine.
Kind of depends if they were
And that's
able
that's
to.
the that's the harsh reality of it. Oh, it's Google. They're like you
I
said. They're
know,
international. They're
I know,
worldwide. They
but
have
it's
headquarters all over
their
the
main
planet. They
engine. If you know anything about internet-wise and service-wise like that, I'm pretty sure that their main engine, they have a main server. And then they have other servers for international use and things like that. This is just some of the stuff that I know or picked up from my husband working in particular jobs. But no, it just to move an entire engine like that completely to a different location, no, it's going to cause a lot of problems.
Oh yeah, it'd cause a lot of problems. But that's the point. That's the entire point of it, is to cause a ruckus. Because if you hit Google in its pocketbook, that's when it's going to listen to you. You hit these big tech companies in their wallets, that's when they're going to start listening. They're not going to listen if you keep lobbing random legislation at them, throwing papers at their doorsteps, because they're international. Like they'll say it themselves, they can move anywhere on the planet. So how about they just move right on the other side of California? Cost less, and they'd be able to continue to do business with the U.S. It's an ultimatum, but it's one that'd work.
Mm, I don't know. Excuse me, I would have to disagree. Google's already in enough shit already with walkouts all over its global quarters. Several locations have their associates like walking out and quitting on the spot in protest over was it unequal pay, not the wage gap shit.
Sexual harassment.
Yeah, sexual harassment, legitimate unequal pay, some other stuff going on. So yeah, people are not happy. Google's already fucked as it is right now, but
Oh yeah, they're still getting hit pretty hard, especially with the new articles 11 and 13 over in the EU.
yeah, and I'm actually
That's gonna hit them even harder.
speaking of that, I will in a way I feel bad, but I'm glad she changed her mind on this. Susan Wojcicki has now come out and said that she would do a European block. Because I know that we mentioned, I believe it was last stream, that she was going to take away her upload privileges. No, she has now come out and said that they will region block YouTube to protect YouTube itself and quote unquote the users, that anything that goes against the EU or Article 13 criteria, any country part of the EU will not be able to see it. Now, that'll fuck over a lot of content creators, especially some that we know, like Cognitive Thought, Irate Bear, Computing Forever. He's in Ireland. Ireland is part of the EU. Who else is Miss Misa? I think
Miss Steam.
Yeah, Miss Steam, Skeptic Llama. So there's quite a few that it would royally fuck over unless they can change their location or get a VPN, something of that nature. But yeah, in a way, it's a better solution, but at the same time, it will kill off a lot of people's access. So
Yeah, having to region lock the EU is going to be, another big hit. But you end up in this concept of what's the better alternative. It's either the EU gets region locked or everything Google gets hit constantly. Because you got to think, this is not, if it actually does manage to pass through, if it actually does manage to get signed into law, that's not just YouTube. That's YouTube, that's Facebook, that's Twitter, that's Google searches, linking taxes. So if you're going to link to anything like just in this one, when Gundoge linked the article from the Daily Wire, that would possibly incur a tax if he were in the EU, just because he linked something. That's ridiculous.
yeah. Loyal says that there's no way to enforce it, that they're adopting or using scare tactics. And in a way, I don't know how they would enforce Article 13. I really don't. That is one thing that I could never wrap my head around, is like, you wouldn't really be able to enforce that, technically speaking, because you would have our mini hackers and programmers and things like that find a way around that and provide that open door to people. I mean, it's been done every time Pirate Bay has gone down. People started to do it when Obama tried to pass all these freaking internet legislation bills that, thank God, died. But yeah, no, people aren't gonna let their shit get blocked. I mean, you know how many times Pirate Bay got freaking shut down only to pop up on a different server? Sure, the founders, all of them got arrested quite a few years ago. I think it was in Italy, but the site is still alive and well. So yeah.
Well, yeah, when it actually comes down to it, it'd only be enforceable in the EU and against citizens of the EU. So they'd have to completely, if they really did pull it out and actually get it set up, the only thing they'd be able to do is enforce it in the EU. And the problem with that is there is a Google headquarters in the EU that they will have to move, which again, if that does happen, that just once again just proves that, Google will move just to save its own ass. That's what Wojcicki's doing. She's moving to save her own ass. That's why she'd region lock YouTube.
Yeah, because the other way would have killed the website altogether, like disabling uploading privileges for everyone except for particular companies. It's just like, you're gonna kill this website, you freaking dummy. Why would you even say something like that publicly? You're gonna cause people to move off your platform. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the next 2 months. But yeah, Loyal, let's see, also says they can't really enforce it without showing who and how they would. Who in the EU does it? Yeah, that is true. They haven't specified who would enforce it. Like I said, it's just, I don't know how would you enforce something like that when people would find ways around that.
Well, currently the way they say they're going to enforce it, which is in the paperwork itself, the major ways they'll enforce it is with hefty fines, which, And then again, there's also, arresting people who can't or won't pay the fine, which that's just citizens. But the major problem is the fines that corporations would end up with, because those corporations are in turn going to either move or do something else to prevent it. What it is yes, it's absolutely a scare tactic, but it's a scare tactic against the corporations by the EU.
Yeah, and that's what he's saying is that they would have no way to enforce it. I got 7 people
Well,
watching.
yeah, they can absolutely enforce it within the EU. That's the real problem here, is they'd only be able to force it on the EU. Same thing as the end of the Castlevania series. What you want to know what this is? This is the world's longest suicide note. The EU is trying to kill it.
Yeah. But let's see. I have. I don't know if you're watching the feed. It looks like it's gonna be a quiet night, but I have like a list of Black Friday videos. I don't know if you've actually even seen any of those before. They're Ichabod.
I've seen a few of them.
Yeah, I actually have
Oh,
yet.
for God's sake! Not where would they? How would they? Loyal Logic is really trying to push this concept.
What?
Who enforces the laws? How do they enforce the laws? Well, either you pay it, or the people who don't pay it are given. Well, usually the easiest way for them to do it is to impose additional sanctions on the company while it operates within that country. But you're also going to have to eventually start dealing with people being arrested for not paying their fines. Companies being told they have to leave the country because they aren't paying their fines. Or what is the international police people, Interpol getting involved, other people of that getting involved, the EU itself becoming to get involved. It's not that hard to enforce a fine if you're operating any kind of business within that country. So here, let me tell you to stop and think and understand the concept. Because when it comes to this, what system do they use to strike the copyrights? Right now, we've got the algorithm here that does the content ID stuff. Already there. We have that already sitting, just waiting to be misused. You have thousands of people who'll flag something just because they don't like what you're saying. Thousands more who do it just because they're getting paid to do it. What? It's maybe a minimum wage job. It is a magical system that's already developed. It's called content ID flagging. We get it on YouTube constantly. Whenever Doc goes onto another stream and sings something that's a little too good, gets a little too close to the original, and maybe it's a parody, something like that, it gets hit with a content ID flag. And then you get a fine for that content ID flag. And then that fine gets another fine because, oops, they didn't take it down fast enough. They already have access to Google software. Not that hard.
Whoopsie. Okay, doggone it.
Mm.
But yeah, like I said, we'll have to see how it plays out, and I think the EU's stupid. I really freaking do.
I
But
I
yeah,
gotta say, I wholeheartedly hope it just doesn't go through. Because if it does, they're screwed. It's not hard to get a hold of an algorithm when a company operates within your borders. And I guarantee you every government already has access to that goddamn algorithm.
yeah, very true. So, because this might turn into like a back and forth like all night. Who wants to see some crazy, like really bad crazy? Like I said, I have yet to actually sit down this year and watch the ones from. Let me shut that off.
From last year.
Yeah. So, let's see. I'm gonna do this. Eesh. Better turn on the sound. Okay, okay. Make sure that the chat is still there. So. Someone said, Nick says it's like the EU wants to be China. I don't think anyone can get as bad as China.
To be fair, China actually already has access to the Google algorithm for content ID flagging. They tweaked it in order to get it into what they have now, their current system. So they already have access to the programming, which, you know, Google worked with China to do that.
Yeah. No,
it's not that far a leap to think that the EU would do the same.
Yeah, no, I do remember reading something about that, because China wanted to censor certain things out, which is messed up. China is a communist state.
Peppa Pig, man! They wanted to flag down Peppa Pig! That's what it was! That's what the whole controversy was about! Freaking Peppa Pig!
Yeah, it's stupid, but hey, countries over there... Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Fox News covered one of these?
It's a local station.
That meme. Oh my god.
Sorry, I have to lag a little behind because I gotta watch via the stream, but
you're fine. What are they fighting? What is that? A TV? What is that?
I'll have to catch up.
Oh, it's a Fisher-Price toy.
Oh, great, Fisher-Price toys. Oh my god, it's just the one box and there's like 8 people fighting over it. Holy crap.
Let's see what
use your elbows, use your elbows.
Oh, yep. You can't pay me enough to fucking work this shit. I think some of the worst ones...
I hear it gets as bad up in... KC, but not down here. It's too small of a community.
Oh yeah, the smaller towns, it's not as bad. But like you go to like the bigger cities or whatnot, and it's fucking crazy. It's.
Oh yeah. Which gets to me, like, why are these people not just like driving 5 more miles out, go to a Walmart that's a little less populated?
Because Walmarts in the bigger cities are freaking worse. This is a Walmart. He's using pepper spray! Oh my god, this cop is using pepper spray! It's an elderly gentleman and he's getting ready to pepper spray people. Oh, taser! She used her taser in somebody! Oh shit!
Whatever works!
Yeah, that cut that crap real quick. Tasers and pepper spray. Oh, once that shit's out, it's over. I think like the craziest years, the craziest fights I see when they start wrestling, cops start wrestling people on top of the flat screens. It's like, what are you doing? You're fucking breaking it.
Yeah, that thing's gonna get home. It ain't gonna work no more, bud.
Okay, might as well. I was like.
I mean, when it comes down to it, I think Falcon Millennial's right on that. Go with Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
Just buy your stuff online so you don't have to deal with this crap.
Yeah, Cyber Monday. I have an aunt who very much loves Cyber Mondays.
I'm guessing by her laughter that she's okay. Those new shoes, man.
That reporter went down.
Oh yeah, it's because she was wearing heels. Oh, yep, run, run! That employee got.
Everybody's laughing at her now. Gosh.
As the line moves.
Oh, there goes the camera.
Uh-oh.
Holy shit. That was like fucking insane. See, what freaking boggles my mind is you have... Here's the thing. For anyone who has worked in retail, there's something that you will catch on to every year around Christmas time, especially on Black Fridays. Black Fridays and the Christmas sales are the best time to push new brands. And because you'll see a bunch of off-brand shit come out, like iPads, TV, phones, whatever. So they use this time to push all these brands to see whether or not they work. Now, half the time, this shit don't work, but I have seen successfully 2 TV brands come out because they sold enough and they were good quality, and so they kept reappearing. I think the brand is like Westinghouse or something. It's like a little W with dots on top. That's one brand I've seen experimenting during the holidays, and then there's a particular brand that is California exclusive or California based, and that was experimental, and because it worked, you can now find it in the electronics stores. I know I saw it at Sears. It starts with an S. But see, I don't. Why the fuck would you fight over electronics, especially with the flat screen? Because as soon as you ding that screen, you could fuck up the pixels, depending on how the TV's made.
Yeah, I do wonder how often somebody gets home after Black Friday and their brand new 50-inch plasma screen TV is completely broken.
Yeah, and like the crazy thing too is, like I said, with the experimental brands that come out, like a month later, you have people returning half the shit they fought for. So it's it's just insane. See, and I feel bad for the police officers too, because they're constantly having, golly, they're constantly having a break. What are they fighting over? What is this?
I don't think it really ever matters. That's the hard truth about it. None of it really ever matters.
What is that, like heaters? That's gotta be a form of
I
like
have no
heaters,
idea.
because that was like a long, skinny ass looking thing. No, I know what that is. Those are sound bars. Oh my god, half of those have gotta be busted. Those are fucking sound bars. What the yeah, see, if
Yeah, the sad part here is I picked up a nice little Bluetooth soundbar speaker. Cost me like $40. I bought it. When did we buy it? End of October? The speaker. When we buy it like the end of October? Yeah, just about the end of October we bought it. And it's perfectly fine. Maybe paid $10 more than I would have in a store on Black Friday. It's worth it to not get punched in the jaw again.
I honestly, if I came across that like pile of soundbars and the electronics, I wouldn't buy it. It just because look, that's especially with those soundbars too. They were like all over the place, and I've never owned a soundbar.
Oh yeah, no, they're gonna break them.
So I wouldn't even buy them if I saw that.
Yeah, no, I assure you, they're gonna break them.
Well, that stand is completely destroyed. Oh, that's Straight Talk. I recognize that. Yeah, that's Straight Talk. I'm surprised there's still fucking phones left in the damn thing. What is that small little box? Is that a modem? You can see, golly, you have...
It might be.
Oh, what the fuck happened?
A bunch of people with too much time on their hands ended up going there. That's basically what happened.
So you have 1, 2, 3. Golly, you have so many...
Has the proof. She's at the Best Buy at Pagefield Commons in Fort Myers. Christina.
I wonder if cops get paid overtime to do this crap.
Front of the line tonight, I'm joined here by David Valentine and Felipe Valentine. Felipe, we just have to ask, what in the world has you sitting out here for an entire week before Black Friday?
A week? Something else too is you'll hear about incidents of people shooting each other over parking spots during Black Friday too. I heard a couple last year that had to do with Walmart. So it's just like, godly, parking spots. Parking spots. People fucking shot each other over parking spots. That was a thing last year. It's always a thing.
I'm just slightly closer to the door. Well, I've got a revolver.
Oh yeah, no, it's...
God.
The closer you are, the less trampled you're gonna be at first, but then you have to figure out how to get out of the mob with your shit.
All right. And down at the second tent back there, Felipe beat them out by just a few hours.
You'd think that there would just be just an overwhelming amount of muggings on Black Friday.
Well, you've had people try to rob each other.
I mean, really.
Good.
I know, right? It's just like, man, it's stuff.
We're live in Fort Myers outside the Best Buy. Christina Lesby, NBC.
You don't gotta be super into stuff. This is ridiculous. Over what? Crap.
Oh yeah, and that's it is just over crap, and you have people called snipers to where they'll go to things like Black Friday and they'll get a certain number of a certain product, and then they'll go and they'll sell it on eBay. They'll advertise, hey, if you weren't able to get it at Black Friday, I have it for you here. Where do you keep signing me out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was at this moment.
Those people are they're fun people because they're not gonna sit there and buy all the latest stuff and do all that. No, they're gonna get the little stuff that people really want, stash it back, make a little tidy profit, and then be gone. They're not gonna be selling things like crazy. And sometimes snipers will completely screw themselves over. Because you got this, there was this one time they bought a bunch of Super Nintendos because they just came out. Because Nintendo has a history of releasing only a limited amount of a certain product every once in a while, false scarcity, that kind of thing. So they bought a bunch of these Super Nintendos, and then they tried to sell them on eBay, and it ends out that the same day they released hundreds of millions of these old-timey Super Nintendo games and just completely tanks the prices of them.
Jeez.
So nobody bought it. So there's this poor sniper dude who bought 50 Super Nintendo exclusive items, and it turns out he's gonna sit at home with 50 Super Nintendos and do nothing else with his day.
Haha. Yes, yeah, I won't do that shit. Let's see, what does it say?
Yeah. It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, there are people that will do that. So if you do decide to go to Black Friday, keep an eye out. Yeah. Seriously, don't let somebody steal something from your cart.
Timber.
And if they're trying to take it from your hands, remember, you got elbows. Use them. You can cut somebody with the elbow.
Well, for me, it's not worth the shit, so I was like, here, take the crap. I don't care.
Let the shopping, the saving, and the shoving begin.
I've heard stories of 9-year-olds getting punched in the face by strangers and people throwing their kids at people, like, legit.
Black Friday frenzy.
And this gun is normally $20. Right now, it's $9.99 while supplies last. You zombies are the reason that Thanksgiving and holidays are being destroyed.
Man, I will never understand the concept of Black Friday, you know.
Thanksgiving to serve idiots like you.
Yeah, see, and you always have these nut jobs that'll go either dress as Santa or some other character and scream at the people waiting in line on Black Friday, calling them degenerates and zombies.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to go dressed as a preacher and then like just mess with their heads.
My husband made the joke last year of wearing armor and putting spikes on the armor and like going to like one of the busiest ones and having people trying to shove them only to get like stabbed by the spikes.
Stabbed?
Yeah, he goes, I'd go in there dressed with spiked armor, and when people try to shove me, they would just get impaled. It's like, that's so fucking
Good God. Here's the easier way to do that. You just get like one of those bad Christmas sweaters and cover it in thumbtacks.
Oh my god. Oh look, yeah, see, these are TVs.
So every time they bump into you, it's like, ow.
Yep, here we go. I wouldn't buy any of those. Because, like, yeah, they're getting knocked around. You have people playing tug-of-war. Yeah, no, fuck that. Those are all ruined. Either something's gonna have a
Who gonna tug of war over a freaking TV, man?
They're retarded. They don't fucking... some of those are gonna have pixelation damage. You know that the colors are gonna be all fucked up after that.
Oh, yeah. Some of them are gonna end up broken, and then we gotta replace them. It's like, okay, so here's the really bad one. You ever seen these ones that'll go to like a Best Buy when they're having their big Black Friday sale, and they go in there and they end up buying a brand new computer, and they're yanking it around and breaking it against everything. And keep in mind, in 6 months, this computer is going to be completely outdated, useless for anything other than maybe looking at Facebook.
Yeah.
Have a good night, Falcon.
There are the sound bars again. Oh, this is Target. I've never been to Target during Black Friday. I went in. Oh! Whoa, what the fuck is on the floor? Baby blanket? Yeah, see, and you have...
Somebody just dropped their infant.
No,
They don't even care anymore. They're just like, I give up! I want this TV!
Yeah, see, you have people who are, like, they'll stand there bravely and they'll film these crazy people coming in. It's like, you're... Pregnant people have died. Managers have fucking died.
Oh yeah, no, people get trampled every once in a while.
There's a video, and I don't know where it's at, of a Target manager, like, standing on one of the conveyor belts at the checkout, and he gives, like, this speech, parodies, Aragorn's from Lord of the Rings. I believe it is the...
Oh yeah, with South Park.
Yeah. Well, no, it's it legit happened in a Target store, and his employees were laughing, but it was really funny. I wonder if I could find it. But it's...
So here's something really hilarious, because I'm a weird dude, so I have kind of weird concepts. Like if anybody ever wanted to make like the biggest terrorist attack in American history, just wait till Black Friday and blow up like 3 Walmarts.
Don't
The
people like
highest death count ever. I'm not actually giving ideas. I'm just saying that is the. It is always partially the terrorist's fault. But if you're gonna go to a hugely populated area and everybody knows it's gonna be hugely populated ahead of time, it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Wait for Cyber Monday. Buy that crap online.
Yeah, Nick is saying, and this is
Play it
true.
safe, bro.
Nick, 9572 says, plus some are cheap rip-off TVs that are made specifically for Black Friday, take advantage of idiots such as One Tech and don't do the research. And that is true enough. Samsung, because I actually heard this, too, while working in retail and stuff, that Samsung particularly will make, the stuff that's meant for Black Friday and the holiday sales, they will make it purposely cheaper, for the holidays.
Oh my God, that reminds me. All right, so this isn't my Black Friday story. This is somebody who got me a gift for Christmas one year. They got me a phone. They thought it was brand new, Samsung Galaxy, whatever craziness, right? Open the box, look at it. Huh, that's kind of weird. Put it back in the box. Look at the side of the box. It was called Samhung. Samhung with an H.
Yeah, you have.
They spent $190 on a Samsung phone, and I kept that thing for years. I loved that phone.
Aww. Is this at a mall or is this at a shop? This looks like at a mall. Wine route.
Oh, that's a mall.
Oh my god.
Because you can see the thing that says wine route.
See, I have social anxiety or whatnot. Like, I can do customer service just fine, but I don't like big crowds of people, and that, like, would legit make me nervous. I'd become, like, violent or start getting, like, really anxious.
Well, that's what these people do. They get real violent.
No, it's
Give them a
like,
billy club. Send them in.
well, no, it's like, I just, like, I want the fuck out. Forget this. I want out.
You know that there's some people out there that do the service of doing your Black Friday shopping for you?
No.
They take a fee and then they'll go to the stores for you. Yeah, there's people out there that do that. Like, you give them, like, whatever you're looking to spend, and then you pay a fee of, I think, like, 1/4 of what you would normally be spending. And people will go into the shops and they'll just go buy your stuff for you.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's an easy way to end up, you know, getting robbed.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Holy shit.
that is why you wouldn't.
That dude's just fucking cackling in the background. One guy, I think it
Yeah,
was
look
last
at him. It's
year.
like the freaking Walking Dead.
One guy, like last year, do you remember hearing about the story of the guy who threw $1 bills, 1,000 $1 bills into a Black Friday crowd, and people started diving for the bills? He got arrested.
Jeez. I mean, that is like yelling fire in the theater. I'm not gonna
Pretty
lie.
much, no, pretty much. He did. Oh my god. Yeah, see, if I was the employee, I'd like shrink into a corner. It's like, yeah, no, fuck you. I'm staying over here.
No, see, what you do is you get 1,000 $1 bills and then $100 bill and watch them fight like jackals over that $100 bill.
What is See, a lot of people like ran past the table, and now you just have people grabbing shit for the hell of it. That one lady's actually looking at stuff. These other people are just going through and snatching boxes and.
Is that like a tray of bananas? That looks like just a table of bananas.
No, you have sweaters, and then you have like a bag. I don't know what that little bag of stuff is.
It looks like a bag of bananas.
I do know that
Oh,
there's a rule with...
there's this shop.
What? What shop?
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say there is.
There's a shop up in Lawrence.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So there's a shop up in Lawrence that's it's clearly Chinese import stuff because it's all super cheap for what it is. But they got a bunch of headphones in there. One of these days I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna buy all them headphones because they're just like these ones I've got. They're just cheaply made. But they're only $40, and I'm like, okay, I'll go buy that. That's cheaper than what I'm paying.
Yep. I know that there's also like a rule when it comes to Black Friday, like you don't get to see ads. People will go through and try to leak ads onto like websites and stuff. I remember also too, last year I had customers kept asking me, well, do you have a Black Friday ad? Nope, don't release it until the day or two before. You'll get it in your paper. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can usually see what's
leaked. I think the funniest set of headphones in there, which is the one I want to buy first because I want to get it so it's not gone. It has like the the little LED light ups on the side of some headphones.
Yeah.
This thing has a goddamn turkey.
What?
Zero context. I can't read what brand it is. I don't know what country it's from. I can't read it. It's weird calligraphy. But it's got a turkey on the side of it, and I want them turkey headphones.
Grandkids and my son and his wife. But I did call Balance Day Spa here and order a gift certificate for my daughter for Christmas because on Black Friday they had a 20% off.
It's good for businesses, I guess, but
There's too many countries with squiggly lines as their letters, man.
a little too much. You know, I think they overextended.
I don't know. Have you tried
Yeah,
taking a
it's
picture and
Black
using
Friday sale
Google
now every
Images
Friday
to
before
look at it?
So, but I mean, you know,
I just went in there today. I didn't even think about it. I just remembered that it was in there. I was like, I want them. I want them turkey headphones.
Let's see what we got. We're at 127.
The best part, I don't even want to get them for me. I want to get them as a birthday present for, oh my god. I know I'm kind of pale, but no, this kid is a step away from albino pale.
Oh.
Whitest kid I ever met in his life, and I want to give him that set of headphones. Just go so every time I see him online playing a video game, I can be like, "Hey, turkey!" And it's not offensive because he has turkey headphones.
Oh, this isn't so bad. See, this is Walmart. You have people in there trying to freaking do grocery shopping. I remember like the year that I actually went to go get my phone. You had people that had fucking groceries in their carts. Like, are you retarded? See, look. Oh, no, what was that? That was a sniper's cart. And that's not. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, those guys that'll just walk around the store and grab stuff ahead of time and then wait for Black Friday to start.
Yeah, see,
Those sneaky fuggers.
yeah, there's got. Yeah, no, it's got like 2 to 3 different boxes of this, or 2 to 3 boxes of the same shit.
Oh yeah, those guys make it harder, and it promotes this like concept of false scarcity. These things are gonna be there next week. They're just gonna be like maybe 10-15% more expensive. They don't even have like the crazy Black Friday deals that they used to have. They're like 90% off this LED TV. They don't do that crap anymore.
My phone was 75% off, so that wasn't bad. And I would just, I
That's
got,
pretty good.
yeah, like I said, it was $200 phone I got for $45, and I wasn't even in it because I got curious that year to see what Black Friday looked like, and I was just poking through the ad. I'm like going, hey, I actually need a new phone. There's one for $45, and it's by Samsung, and it was an actual Samsung straight talk phone. So, yeah, this is boring.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
It's like the concept of you ever wonder how much one of those phones takes to actually manufacture? Any concept of how much that is? $15 to make the current highest end phone they have is the approximation of how much one of those costs to make. $15.
Let's see.
That's all the tech, all the upgrades.
Yeah.
$15.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's made more cheap, but like priced higher. You even have that with medicine, man. Nick says that there's a whole website dedicated to that. Most of those stores already leak. Oh, I bet there's always people in there leaking shit, so. Oh my god, you have people fighting over the damn carts.
Yeah. Okay. So currently, this is the one that I'm actually looking at here, because they got a list of it online. The Apple iPhone XS Max 256 gigabyte. Right. This is the highest end phone you can buy. The reduction cost $43. The retail price $1,249.
Yeah, I won't. That's ridiculous. They're fighting over a vacuum cleaner. Over a fucking vacuum cleaner.
We need a Swiffer.
See, I have. I have like a Beasel. I think it's a Beasel. It's actually over here in my closet. Yeah, no, it's a Beasel. Cost me only like $40 and I got it a few years ago and that thing still works just fine. I empty the cup and clean out the filter and it works just fine. So I see no point in fighting over
Well, nah,
cleaner.
if you go to the right garage sale, you can get one of them Kirby vacuums for like $20.
Yeah, there's some vacuum cleaners these days that are freaking expensive. Dyson comes to mind. Dyson is this expensive brand. You have Dirt Devil, you have Shark, you have some of these higher quality ones that are more lightweight but have a lot of suction power, and some of them are for particular carpets, especially the thick woven ones. So, but yeah, it's a real fucking vacuum.
Okay, so a brand new Kirby vacuum cleaner. That's the Kirby Avalair vacuum. That's $1,500.
Jeez.
A $1,500 vacuum cleaner. I will slap somebody they try to sell me a $1,500 vacuum cleaner. I will buy a Dirt Devil for $10 at a garage sale and tell you to piss off.
Yeah. What is... See, that's the thing that I never got either, is, okay, I'm all for technology. I like having nice technology. I'll get stuff that will last me for a very long time, and if I need help buying it, I'll get people like, hey, can you give me some insight into this? What's the best thing to buy? I mean, the laptop I've had it since 2012, and I work with Photoshop and things like that. And my dad is a computer tech. He's had a lot of experience putting stuff back together, old computers, even a laptop. He's put laptops back together with the help of some of his bosses, and so he helped me pick up my laptop. It's an HP, and it still works really well. Granted, it has some lockup issues, and it likes to be a douche and toss up my fucking Wacom driver. Oh, there's a taser. Oh, this is the same. This is one of the clips from before. But yeah, so like I'll buy stuff and I'll make sure that it will last and it has like high reviews and things like that before I even buy it. So what I don't get is people needing to like upgrade their shit every year for like the newest freaking thing. There's some stuff I won't buy, like the iPhone. I won't ever fucking buy an iPhone. And even some of the stuff now by Samsung I won't buy because it's either too big or the format sucks, or like Samsung, some of the phones fucking burst into flames. So no thanks.
Explode, yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember Repzia
but you
tweeting about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, like one of the things that you can figure out that it's really frustrating for people who have no idea how to do it. So you gotta watch like online tutorials, because it's not that freaking hard to actually do, right? If you do it right, you're not gonna have this problem. But you take 10 minutes and watch a few internet videos, you can do it. But basically what you do is you just buy parts for a computer. You buy the case, you buy all the stuff. You're gonna spend $600 and get a computer that would be worth $1,500 in store. And then you keep that thing for 10 years. Because you don't need to upgrade, because you've already put in everything you need to put into it.
Oh my god, look! Did you see him? He's sitting on the fucking lap. He's an idiot! He had his knees, I bet you anything, and that's the front of the fucking box. What a dipshit. This is what I don't fucking... Yep, that box has a curve. Yep, that screen is fucked.
What you end up doing is you end up having to bring it back and exchange it.
Oh yeah.
That's why a lot of stores stopped doing Black Friday exchanges.
Holy fuck, that kid got thrown into a goddamn shelf. What?
Oh, jeez. See, the best part about watching this is I can hear your reactions to what's happening. And it sounds hilarious.
See, here's...
Oh god, he clocked his head.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I remember I used to... Oh, there goes the baskets. Oh, yep, that just caused a major catastrophe. I actually remember I used to work a CSR job, and I had an associate from Walmart call me during one of my shifts, and that was on Black Friday. I was safe in a little cubicle on the phone. I was not among people. So, like, he was explaining to me some stuff. I'm like, how's it over there? And he goes, it looks like a freaking hurricane hit the damn place. I'm going, oh, that sucks, dude. He goes, yeah.
I think the worst part about Black Friday in general is all the work you have left over after it. Because y'all don't get paid enough for that crap. You really don't.
I've never had to work at Black Friday, like, ever, and you can't freaking pay me enough to work Black Friday, especially in the bigger cities, because I told people the one time that I almost did is the same day that I actually quit because my employer was shit, and I'm like, I've had enough. So, but I told people, like, you better give me a fucking nightstick or a taser or something, or I'm shoving my ass in a cubby and I'm not coming back out. Fuck y'all.
I mean, when it comes down to this, you know, I mean, I'd rather wait another day and pay a little more than lose my dang head.
Yeah, and that's true enough. I remember my mom, when they would go Black Friday shopping, she would ask, well, do you want to come with us? And there were times where I didn't have money, and there were times that I did. And it's just like, yeah, no, I don't want to come with you. I'll pay $100 extra for the stuff, and over a medical bill.
I'm finna shoot this to Facebook. It's finna go all over media.
Gosh.
I don't care. But yeah, it just... Something I've noticed is, like, these videos begin to blur, and they're just the same thing year after year. Some of them are funny, but then you wonder, is, like, is this ever going to change? And I know, just reading from, like, articles, because this stuff leaked over into the UK, and you had people in the UK going, we don't want this fucking crap over here. Why are we doing this over here? Please don't bring this over here. It's bad. So, yeah, here's another fucking mob. Shit. I remember watching older videos, I think from like 2016, 2015, and you had a bunch of employees trying to hold like the door closed, and it didn't work because the people kept pushing back, and it got to a point to where the employees pretty much had to become one with the wall so they didn't get fucking trampled.
Yeah, I think that's one of the hardest parts about it. It's not the worst, because like the cleanup alone is enough on you guys. But when it comes to like actually having to press up against the wall, because if you don't, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. And no worker should have to deal with the possibility of, because you have a sale in your store, death might be the consequence.
Yeah, no, and that's true enough. I don't think there's much more, but yeah, no, and it's just, it gets nuts to a point. It really does. Yeah, for some people it's fun because you learn how to avoid like the craziness and stuff, and if you have a particular item in mind, you just get that item and then you get the fuck out. But I don't know. I don't understand this shit. I don't care to. I just, sometimes it's fun to point and laugh, and other times it's like, y'all are, it's just stuff. It's fine. But yeah, with all that aside, it's something I avoid for the most part. Something else I do, we're getting down to like the half an hour mark, and I don't think we have anybody in the hallway. Nope, no hallway tonight. Something I do want to take the time to do is just like kind of talk about like what we're thankful for. And I know that's cliche, but you know, it's always nice to reflect on stuff. Like whether, so I don't know. Do you have anything in particular?
Not really. I'm half asleep myself, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
It's been a rough day.
Well, like nothing over this past year, advancements or just, small things or.
When it comes down to it, I just trying to get by as best I can, really. I mean, I'm trying not to get too involved in stuff if I can help it.
Yeah. No, and that's true enough. I know this past year has just, in a way, I don't want to say it has sucked, but there is a lot of stuff that I'm thankful for that I've been able to avoid or just pretty much get out of without getting torched, so to speak. I do know that well, you've some of the weird situations I've gotten caught up in or just have been, yeah. Most of the time, people don't walk away from those. I've been able just to walk away. Um, so that's one thing to be thankful for. I mean, my channel's taken a hit, but for the people who have stayed or whatnot and still like support me, because I got like a small dedicated crowd, and then I have just people who come and go. But I'm thankful for the people that are still here, those that have been here, giving me the time of day, and I do know that there is, and I don't see him. I didn't see him in the chat. I haven't seen him anywhere. I was hoping he'd come on, but I try to get some people on tonight. One is in a 10-hour shutdown, and then the other one, I don't know. But there's some people that I want to personally thank. My husband switched jobs. He's now a trucker, and that is not an easy shift, like at all. And there's a lot of shit you have to worry about. And a lot of shit that happens in like the first couple weeks. So there's been 2 to 3, possibly 4 people that I can go to and ask questions. One of them, he's called the Reckless Trucker. Follow him on Twitter. So he's been a really big help and was a big help at the beginning of the shift. And then another one is Magnus Prime, I believe.
Magnus. Yeah, he used to be Magnus Deacon.
Yeah, Magnus Deacon. He he's been there to answer any questions that I may have, because anything that my husband has issues with, I'll go run to Magnus like, hey, do you get this? What's going on? What do I do? So he's been well, Magnus is a trucker, and so I'm not gonna like dox his shit or whatnot. I don't know how much people know about his profession. So I've been able. Not Chris. Magnus has answered a lot of my questions, and so we've been able to bounce information a little bit off of each other. It's like, is this working for you? No, this is kind of shitting out on me too. So that's been real cool to have that. Hey Dude, 77 is another one I've been able to bounce information off of. Once in a while, Optimus Christ, he's another trucker. Something I've noticed with our neck of the woods, our YouTube community, is there's like a very small community of truckers. I don't know how many other people are truckers. I know Ronan and Maddie. I've been able to bounce some information off of them. So it's been really helpful, as this shift has been really kind of difficult because my husband's had to be away from home for quite some time, and that's not easy. So I'm really thankful that I've been able to get info and bounce it off from multiple people. It's made things a lot easier. Nick says,
oh hell yeah, Magnus is good people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he very much is. Nick says, my father's been a trucker for pretty much all of my life, so was just curious. Oh shit, I missed something. But
he asked, oh cool, does he do local runs, or is he running all over the country to do deliveries?
Oh, he's regional. So there's 3 to 4 different types of routes or statuses that you can be when it comes to trucker. There is what's called OTR, or over the road, and that's where you deliver all over the country. There is regional, to where you deliver in and out in your home state and only to the surrounding states. Like it could be 2 to 3 states over in all directions. And then there is local, to where you're home every night and you may do a local run for milk company, soda, whatever. And you can actually tell because there's 2 parts to a truck, an overall truck. You have the trailer, and then you have the bobtail, and you can tell when it's local versus when it's regional or OTR. And I can actually, you know what? Screw this. I'm gonna pull up a picture. Well, no, just because there you can tell the difference. Let me see. Oh, no, that's not. Damn it, that's not what I want. I don't want a damn dog. Okay, it's legitimately called a bobtail, and it pulled up a fucking dog. Okay, let me see. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna flip it back to the TV real quick. Okay, so the difference that you can tell is you have, when you see a bobtail like this, back here there's like an extra part, an extra thick part. This is pretty much, depending on how big the bobtail is, you either have a small fridge back there, and we're not talking like a household one. It's like one of those mini college ones. It's no bigger than like a box or whatnot. So you sometimes have 2 beds back there. You have a small mini fridge back there. If it's a really thick, really big bobtail that's meant for over the road or regional, some of them have bathrooms. So this would be over the road. Now, if you see a local one, it's going to look like this. It looks like part of it's been cut off. Anytime that you see these are local runs. These are not ever for over the road or for regional, because there's no way for the trucker to crash. But that is the difference. And there's a lot that goes into maintaining one of those. There's a lot of shit you have to fucking check.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Minutemen. Yeah, you're right. Bobtailing is when the truck does not have a trailer. Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Somebody asked me, what is this channel about? Grim. It's a mixed bag. I used to do a little bit more political stuff. Now it's just, it's whatever. It's whatever.
Whatever neighbors decide.
Let's see. Grim, I sat in a truck once. It was pretty big. Long tail. He also said that there is a bed too in TV. Yeah, no, and there's, depending on how new it is, because like the newer trucks or bobtails or whatever, they're starting to put more comforts in for the truck drivers if they're over the road or regional, and you can choose what is in there depending on the year. Like I said, the thicker you see those over the road ones, like the bigger and thicker, there's probably going to be a bathroom in there. There's probably going to be 2 beds. The truck that my husband has like a mini fridge and 2 beds in there. So gotta make it a personality channel, embrace the political skeptic sphere. Well, you saw how that imploded. Yeah, no, I'm not one of the skeptics. I'm an anti-feminist, but I've moved away from political stuff, so no, I'm good. But yeah, like I said, the shift to this particular job has actually been difficult. It has not been easy, because we weren't given accurate information at first. And for training, my husband had to disappear for 6 to 8 weeks out of the house. So technically speaking, I wasn't supposed to be able to see him like at all during those 6 to 8 weeks. So it's and we had never been apart that long before, so that kind of sucked, but I was fortunately able to see him on the weekends, so that was nice, but I had to drive 3 to 4 hours out just to go get him. So, no,
Goodness.
oh yeah, no, what really freaking sucked, okay, so when he went for training and, the home or the terminal that he went to go train with or for orientation, this is like the worst terminal, and I'm not going to say for what company, I don't want to dox this company or whatever, but the terminal in this particular location is bad. They're fucking retarded. So, and the reason why I say this is because it was a weekend, it was Labor Day week, where Labor Day weekend, whatnot, and everything was closed. So my husband goes for orientation at the beginning of the week. And after orientation, you're sent off with a trainer. My husband wasn't able to get a trainer for that weekend, and so they tried to find a bus ticket, but they can't get a last minute ticket on the fucking holidays for a bus. So they were going to leave him up there for 3 to 4 days with no money. Without even provide, I mean, oh yeah, they were paying for a hotel. They were going to pay for the hotel, but he was going to be up there without anything else, so to speak. I got so fucking pissed when he told me. I'm like, nope, fuck that. So I drove about 3 hours up to go get him and bring him home. It's like, yeah, no, fuck you people. You guys are retarded. So, let's see. Well, anyone with 2 brain cells is an anti-feminist. It's like saying you're pro-oxygen. Nick. Let's see. Grim politics are going to die. Trucker boot camp. Oh yeah, no, there's a lot of training that you have to go through just to be a truck driver. Just the freaking book. Like I have the book that my husband had to use. And there's different types of truck drivers too. My husband is just your general truck driver, so he carries trailers back and forth. He doesn't deal with any hazard materials, and you not only do you have to get a CDL for that, you have to go through special training to handle certain materials. You have to make sure you know your placards. You have to know certain procedures. So, like, there's truck drivers that carry petroleum back and forth. There's truck drivers that carry gas, like if you guys ever see those big metal
tanker trucks.
Yeah, tanker trucks. Gas stations putting in more fuel into the pumps or whatnot. So that's a job. You have to have hazmat training for that particular substance. You have to make sure you know. There's a whole lot of shit that you have to deal with. There's even truck drivers that carry hazardous waste, whether it be biological from humans. There's truck drivers that carry blood back and forth, or blood supplies back and forth. So there's truck drivers for all sorts of shit. And you have to get training for every single substance if you want to carry something hazardous back and forth. It would be biochemical, flammable, whatever, and you have to know your placards. You have to check the placards and shit like that. So and then just for a general truck driving, you have to check certain things outside of the truck when you hook up. There's 2 locks you have to maintain or you have to keep. It's called a kingpin and enforcer lock. On just your dashboard alone, there's 4 to 5 different meters you have to keep track of. There is an oil pressure meter, there's an RPM meter, there is the obviously the miles per hour. There's air pressure, and those have 2 different dials. There's an air pressure for the trailer, there's an air pressure for your brakes. So there's just like a lot of shit you have to learn, and then you have to drive a particular way. When they you see like the truck drivers, because I used to get mad at these truck drivers or whatnot, and obviously more understanding, but they have to drive a particular which way they don't kill people. That's like a 400-ton vehicle moving around, and they can't drive the same way as the cars, especially if you're in a manual. Oh dear God, there's a lot of shit you gotta do with a manual. Let's see.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Nick says, gotta love only being able to park at those truck stops. Yeah, and some of the truck stops I've learned, not gonna say which ones, have a 24-hour limit, and you can't leave the truck unattended, even though you lock it. It's Grim, why do you need Skype?
It's unattended, yeah.
Let's see, use your cell phone. And let's see, and take the heat in time. You see each other, learn the skills, so you can start looking for jobs in the local area. Oh yeah, no, it just when he started driving, they threw him to OTR when he actually trained with a regional guy, or technically, there's another one. There's OTR, regional, local, dedicated. Okay, so there's another route too. It's called dedicated, to where you could be home every other night. You'd still go out of state, but you wouldn't go as far as regional, if I remember correctly. So he trained dedicated. They threw him OTR for only 2 weeks, thank God. So now he out of OTR. Nick also says, or Minuteman says, yeah, I was a tanker hazmat. They lied to me about the pay I'd get. It killed my interest to do the job, since they drive me all over and screw with me with dead drops, which don't pay shit. Remind me what a dead drop is. Isn't that to where you just drop the trailer and you go?
Well, you pick up the trailer, there's nobody there, and then you drop it off, and there's nobody there.
No, that's not what a dead drop is. When you have what's called a live load, it's where or a dead load or whatever, is when you go, you still have to meet with people in order to drop off the trailer, and you have to get paperwork and shit signed, but you leave the entire trailer loaded at a docking station at its destination. When you have a live load, you have to not only dock, but you have to sit there and wait until the trailer is unloaded, so you take the trailer back with you, or what's called an empty call. Let's see. Let's see. Then the social isolation made me snap. Yeah, I will say that when it comes to being a truck driver, especially if you are OTR or if you're regional, you do spend a lot of time away from home and a lot of time away from friends. There's a couple friends that my husband used to hang out with quite often online, and some of them we've met physically. He rarely gets to see them anymore or talk to them. So yeah, that is what kind of sucks. And 75 cents per mile. Holy shit. Trailers at sea. As a tanker, where trailers get 35 cents. So I took a harder course with more requirements and legal clearances. Yeah, you have to be cleared for a lot of shit. No extra pay for the 5 extra grand in fees and training. Holy fuck, that's wow. Okay, so something to keep in mind too, is if you ever speak to a recruiter, and I don't know if this is true for all truck driving companies, if you ever speak to a recruiter for a truck driving company, they're going to either lie to you, they're going to exaggerate certain things to get you on, especially right now, because the job, and this, I know, I'm not saying this is true for every company, but we kind of got some misinformation ourselves when my husband spoke to a recruiter for the first time. This is kind of turned into a small educational video. That's funny. For the first time, and so once he started to take the classes and the training is when we got accurate information. Like, for example, we got told by the recruiter that once he had gotten his CDL that he would go with a trainer for a week or two. When he got everything set up after he got the official CDL, we were told it was for a month or two. And just like, run that by me again? So, yeah, no, they will either fudge details on purpose. We thought it was a new trainee who didn't have everything, but yeah, they'll fudge shit to get you on.
That's where you get everything in writing.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure enough, and he thought he got all the information. Let's see, 4 tanks, a dead drop, you move an empty trailer to another lot for another driver to pick it up. Oh, so that's kind of like an empty call, so to speak, to where you bring an empty trailer to another yard. Okay. Let's see, yeah, I know the company's working for the big 3 fucking blow. They screw you over and tell you to sign up for that. Well, actually, okay, something I will say too, because yeah, no, Minuteman, you were on my Facebook, so yeah, you would know what company's working for. We actually had a truck driver when he was still training with his trainer. We had a truck driver at the truck stop kind of tell us to avoid what's called per diem. And okay, technically speaking, because he's not getting notifications to get on with per diem, is it'll get you more money per paycheck. And what this guy told us is at the end of the year, because he was on per diem and he liked the sound of getting more money in his paycheck every week. So he ended up owing $2,000 to the IRS when it came time for tax returns. So he goes, yeah, don't ever do per diem. Ever.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, because what they'll do is they'll get you your max amount for your paycheck, but they won't pay enough to the IRS tax-wise. And so yeah, you'll end up owing a lot of money. So like I said, there's a lot of people we've bounced information off of, and like I said, I'm thankful that there's a small network of truckers and the people we've bumped into that have given us a plethora of information, and so far my husband's doing pretty well. He's gotten really frustrated because it just seems like everyone's out to fuck him over. Like today he had a few incidents. Somebody, and he's not sure what happened, but I can bet money he's not the one that fucking did it. So he got a brand new truck, brand new bobtail. He was given a temp, and he was told to drive to a state to discard it and pick up a brand new one, 2018. Somebody clipped the side of his truck and snapped off a part of the fender. It's a small part, but it's a brand new fucking truck, and it already looks like it's already been in an accident. Because some fuckhead freaking clipped him, didn't say anything. So... And then a big thing when it comes to picking up trailers and the paperwork, especially when they're loaded, is there are seals on the back of the trailers, and the seal has to match what's on the paperwork. Well, somebody decided to try to break into the trailer you were supposed to pick up because the seal was torn off, and usually stores won't accept a load if the seal is busted off. And it's like this little, it looks like a wristband, and it's on one of the loops in the back of the trailer. So yeah, he had to fuck with that today. So it's actually kind of been a shit week because of the weather, and then he got delayed by a few of the distributors. I know when I went with him, I think it was last week or the week before for a few days, you had one that lost the keys to the kingpin. So, like I mentioned earlier, there's 2 different locks. You have a kingpin lock and you have an enforcer lock. The enforcer lock goes on the back of the loaded trailers and even the empties. The kingpin lock is there's a part of the trailer that where it connects into the actual bobtail. And so if you were to look at the back of a truck that doesn't have a trailer, bobtailing as it were, it looks like a big hole sitting on top of these wheels. So what the kingpin lock does is you put it on the trailer, and it keeps any truck from connecting to that trailer. So when we went to go pick up what's called a blitz load. They're short distance loads. So when we went to go pick my full trailer, this lady didn't know where the fucking keys were to the Kingpin and tried to get my husband to use his on hers. And it's just like, that's not how that fucking works. My husband comes back to the truck and I'm
That's
sitting
not
there.
how keys work.
No! My husband comes back to the truck and he goes, she's gonna have me try to use my Kingpin key on her lock. I'm going like, are you fucking shitting me? So we sat there for like a half an hour because we had to wait for their yard guy to come. And you do need a CDL. The yard guy, what he does is he drives what looks to be an itty-bitty bobtail, and he'll organize the trailers, and he'll put them in rows and things like that. So we had to wait for him to come. So just like, you run into all kinds of stupid shit during this job in just a few days I was with them. Is just because, like I said, he's had a shit week. So if you're late for one load, it's going to cause a ripple effect. So the one fuck up, it wasn't on him. The weather was bad with one load, and it caused like this massive ripple effect for all week. All week. And he was telling me the gate on one of the yards froze shut because when you go in to pick up a load, you have to check in, you have to meet with the desk, you have to hook up your trailer, do what's called a pre-trip to make sure everything connected properly, your service line, your trailer line, your electric line, and then you have to go back out. You have to check the trailer back out. Yeah, the gate fucking froze shut. So, he has not had a good week. Like, oh yeah, he has not had a good week, like, at all. And I feel so fucking bad, because he might be late for tomorrow's load. And they have now put a, strict, this, I think, I want to say like 3 years now. 3 years ago, they passed a bunch of laws for truck drivers, because there was an uptick of, truck drivers getting into car accidents. And there didn't used to be an 11-hour rule, because you have 3 to 4 different hour rules. You have a 14-hour, you have an 11-hour, and then you have a 8-hour. So you can only work a total of 14 hours a day. You can only drive 10 to 11 hours a day, and then after 8 hours of your driving time, you have to have a lunch. And if not, you're in violation. So, there's that too. And when I was also with him, the distance from the drop-off was the same time of driving hours he had left. So, yeah. It's not easy. It hasn't not been an easy shift, and it's not a fucking easy job. Like, at all. So
we're starting to come up on 10.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it. So this kind of turned into a little bit of an education video for truck drivers. So
Edutainment.
Yes. So I've really been thankful for the people that have like helped us in a sense, like transition. His driving manager is actually really nice and really understanding. So, and just word of the wise, don't get pissed off at the truck drivers. If they are driving slower, there is a fucking reason for it. Real quick, and I'm gonna wrap it up here. When it comes, there's different types of trucks. There's a manual, there's an automatic, and then I believe there's another kind. I don't remember. But with the manuals, it takes longer for trucks to stop, especially with the manuals. For anyone who drives a manual car, you have to put it in neutral or whatnot, and then you have to hit the clutch and rev up the RPMs to get it to the next gear. Well, especially with manual trucks, semi-trucks, not only do you have to clutch, they do something what's called double clutching, where you have to hit the clutch, rev up the RPM, shift gears, and then if you want to shift up or down, you have to hit that clutch again and do the RPMs. You can't just, you can float if you know how to do it, but if you do it wrong, you kill the truck. Now with a manual, it takes longer for them to slow down because they have to do that double clutch, and if they want to slow down, they have to rev the RPMs to match that gear and get it to slow down. So if you see truck drivers out, especially during the holidays, and you feel like they're driving too slow, they're not. They're following their rules of the road. They have to drive completely different. Do not get pissed off, Kif. They have a lot of shit to deal with, especially during the holidays. So do not give them shit.
Yeah, they're following protocol.
Oh yeah, like I knew how to follow them before, but now seeing my husband go through like training courses and things like that, I have a lot more respect for them now because oh dear God. But anyway, let me see if I missed anything. Grim says I never buy new cars because the second you park somewhere, someone slams the door. I don't ever want to buy a brand spanking new car because it has too much computer software in it, and a lot of the times now with these new cars, you have technology in there that'll stop the car for you. I don't fucking think so. I'm not gonna have the vehicle stop for me. That's actually gotten someone killed. Let's see. Oh no, like legit. Her car stopped itself at the wrong time and wouldn't let her move, and she got hit and died. Grim, have you ever heard the horror stories that come from moving companies? No, I have not. And then Minuteman, tell him to drive careful if no one told him if you have a CDL, the law will always make you at fault in a collision unless you can. And that is true. Yes, that is something too. Is with truck drivers, and they can very easily get their CDL stripped. Because, like I said, they have to drive completely different from a normal driver. They have to take more time to stop their truck, even the automatic ones, even though the automatic ones do the gear shifting for them. If they get into a wreck, more than likely they're going to get their CDL pulled. But if they can prove that it was not their fault and it was unpreventable, then they don't get dinged. But if it's proven that it was preventable on their part and they're at fault, they're gonna get their CDL pulled. But yeah, like I said, I appreciate you guys for coming out. This was kind of last minute, but this year, thank a truck driver. Like I said, a lot of shit to deal with, and be thankful for what you got. Not all of us can have the new shiny shit, and then you know what, it's not worth it. But yeah. So, also thankful for my co-host. So, you guys have.
Thanks for having me on again.
You're welcome. Have a good night, guys. And like I said, no stream next week. I'm gonna be out next week. So I'll see you guys the following week. Bye.
Cool. Bye.
Let me get the closing card.